Hello world. I've been asked to do a cover version of Life on Mars by David Bowie. So this is just going to be a little bit of a tutorial about practicing the piano, because I found that a couple of bars here have given me a headache, and yes, there are a couple of passages in here that are giving me a headache, but there's one bar in particular. Okay, and what I'm going to suggest today, I've got a little game to kind of make the medicine go down, but what I'm going to suggest today, I mean, let's pretend that you've got a repertoire and you've got a few pieces that you're going to perform to people, as it were, alright, and you've got half an hour a day to practice on this one piece. You might be better off not necessarily playing the whole piece through over and over again, but perhaps to spend a couple of days of your half an hour a day just going through the bars that are causing the problems and taking those bars at a slow speed, because the received wisdom given to me when I was a wee young scamp as a student was basically that the only thing that you should really be allowing yourself a sacrifice of is tempo. Alright, you want everything else exactly right, alright, but the only thing you can do is to help you get it exactly right is to slow it down while you're practicing, alright, because if you constantly bake in mistakes trying to play it at full speed before you're ready to, then those mistakes are going to be harder to get out, and we don't ever want to hear a wrong note. Right? I know that that is an awful thing to say because we do it. I'm sure, I mean, I'm going to perform this to you in another video, but what I'm saying is I'm sure I'll probably make the odd mistake, and I'll try not to worry about it. Alright? But at the same time, we don't really want to be just saying, oh, I played a wrong note, then never mind, forget about it. We want to be able to sort of practice it as correctly as we can. And the only way we can do that is by slowing everything down, taking things maybe hand separately, and then repetition over and over and over again. Alright, so what the first thing I'm going to do is make use of the metronome on the piano. My friend's little boy Michael loves coming in here and just pressing this button here and doing this and then speeding it up and slowing it down and whatever, and just having a great time with it. But yeah, that's fun, but yeah, whatever. Alright, so I've set this to 80. The recommended speed for this is 124 beats per minute. I actually think that's a wee bit fast, but 80 is a wee bit slow for this. So having it a wee bit slow is going to help me get it right in the first place. I'm doing hands separately. Let's just switch it off for a second. I've got here, if you can see them, pile of coins. Alright, 3 coins here just to start with. You can make them as big or as small as you like. I'd say 3 coins or maybe 5 coins. Alright, and what I want to do is be able to play this particular bar perfectly. Alright, so I've got my tempo set to 80, and what I'm going to do is left hand, and that was fine. So a coin goes into my piggy bank. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Now that was right, but I actually used the wrong finger to play the first note. Alright? And this is what I mean by saying it's repetition. Alright? Repetition isn't repetition unless you do exactly the same thing every time. Alright? I actually want to use my middle finger, I'll avoid showing it to you, my middle finger to play the first D in that bass. Alright, because what's actually happening, I've got an F here coming up before it, and then I've got an E natural, I've got an E flat, and then I've got a D which wants to be middle finger, and then I've got an F sharp which is second finger and then thumb. Okay, so what I want to do then is make sure that this time I don't use my fourth finger to play the D, but that I play the middle finger. So what I've got to do, because I played the second time essentially wrong, I've got to put this coin that I've already earned back on the pile. Alright? And start again, because it's 3 consecutive times getting it perfectly right. So start again. 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, third finger. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you have to, count along with the metronome. That's 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and that's fine, that's perfect. I'm doing this left hand separately because it's a bit nerve-wracking having to do the right hand, which is a bit of a pain in the neck. 1, 2, dun, 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 and that's fine. Right. You'll notice I didn't use any pedal there, and I will be playing the piece with pedal. So one of the things that I'll have to practice in with that is practicing the pedal and doing that. Alright, but never mind. Okay, the next thing we'll have a look at is the right hand separately. Okay, so we want to clap the rhythm along with it. 2, 3, and it's 4 quavers and 8 semiquavers. I.e. 4 quavers, that's 2 beats, and then 8 semiquavers, that's another 2 beats to make that whole bar that's an awkward bar. Okay, let's clap them. I've just worked out there that I need to use my third finger to play the first note of that bar. Okay? Right. The semiquavers are a bit irregular. I want to try and get them a bit more regular than that. Okay, that's not too bad. Shouldn't be not too bad, it should be perfect. 2, 3, and there's a coin, not too bad. Okay, you'll notice there that I went on to the next bar to make sure that I got the next note right. So that's 3 coins in the fountain, as it were, 3 coins in my savings thing. So now let's see if I can play hands together. Okay, I want third fingers for both of the starting notes. 2, 3, and it's not too bad. Okay, see if I can get the pedal a bit clearer this time. 2, because I'm putting the pedal in now as well. 2, 3, and 3. Oh, give myself a coin. 1, 2, 3, and forgot the pedal. Start again. 2, 3, and dum 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 dum. Fairly clear pedal that time, no smudging or anything like that. 3, and lovely. Fine. Okay, so the moral of the story really is that piano practice is as much about brain training. Training your brain to know exactly where you are in that piece at any time, exactly what fingers you're going to be using, exactly what pedalling style you're going to be using, and try not to make those fluffs of wrong notes. If you do fluff the bars up again when you're playing the whole piece through, then stop, go back, do that bar again. All right? Awkward things to work out are also things like page turns. Okay, try and memorize what's coming over on the next page. All right, and also try and give yourself a chance to turn the page over before you end up getting to that note. Okay, because again, playing the piano, now I think there are kinds of pianists. There are some pianists who can learn a piece and then just suddenly have it in their brain all the time. But they sit there and they study and they study and they study and they study. And then there are other kinds of pianists, which I would count myself in, where I can take a moderately difficult piece, you know, especially a pop song, right? Because you don't have to be too accurate with pop songs, and you know the whole idea of a piece of pop sheet music is that whoever's arranged it is going to expect you to interpret it in your own way, maybe put in a few more trills and fiddly-ahs and folderies. If it wasn't just me, if I had a band around me, then perhaps I would be sort of a bit more brave, a bit more adventurous, and perhaps put in a little bit more improvisation and that sort of thing. But because it is just me, I worry. I feel very exposed, all right? But yeah, I mean, so I can take a piece of music like this and I can sight read it. And that's, you know, it's a different skill. My memory is absolutely appalling. I think I could probably just about play God Save Our Gracious Queen from memory, and I hope I could. I'm not going to try, not at this moment. But yeah, I can play Imagine from memory. I can play Let It Be from memory. But other things I'm not quite so hot on, and I'm much happier with some sheet music or with even just a piece of paper with the words and the chords on. And then that kind of makes me a little bit happier, gives me a little prop to work on. All right? So work out what suits you best, what kind of player you are, all right? And just go for it and enjoy yourself. The idea is that you're going to get yourself into a zone, into the zone of playing the piano, where you're not worrying about whether or not there's a camera filming you, or whether there's an audience in front of you, or whether it's Mark playing it in front of you, and Mark's got a bit of a bad hair day today, and all this kind of thing. No, I'm not really worrying about that. I'm trying to sort of cancel myself from the equation, even cancel my fingers from the equation, even cancel the piano from the equation if you have to. What I want to do is create a piece of music that actually sounds nice, right? And it's really that. So it's using those ears and the brain, right? And training the brain and training the ear as well to know, oh, actually, yeah, I'm not going to get away with that. That doesn't sound quite right. Let's see, what was that chord, right? And go back and try it again. Alright, so hopefully that'll help you. I will put my performance of Life on Mars on the tube that is you, probably at roughly the same time as I put this one up, but I don't want to put them in the same video because I won't get a copyright hit for this, but I probably will for Life on Mars, and I'll have to then share my revenue for everything. And my tips and wisdom on playing the piano are worth far more than YouTube are ever going to pay me. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please remember to like, subscribe, share if you dare, and perhaps consider a thanks down below. See you later. Bye.